Now I'd like to introduce Jenny Shehab. She was born in England during World War II. She was an air hostess there and in Lebanon for 5 years, where she met her husband. And together they came to Canada in 1969, where her airline career continued. Jenny and her husband raised 4 children while traveling the world. Retiring in 2001, cancer took her husband soon after, but grandchildren, fitness, and dancing fill her days. So let's end in a laugh. Everybody storm in a coffee cup.
Thank you, Susan. That Wednesday morning started out like any normal weekday morning for the walkers at our local shopping mall. There are several groups and each has its favourite table, and woe betide the one who usurps another's spot. Exercise consists of some laps of the mall, either brisk, semi-brisk, or a gentle lap or two, maybe with a walking aid. Some stop early and start coffee while awaiting the earnest walkers when the conversational update commences. All went as normal until a message began passing from table to table. Management was on the warpath, as too many were sitting together. It was not permitted to move chairs, so groups had to separate. Whoever thought that chairs in food courts were permanent? They're moved all the time. At least we return them and clean up and are gone by 10. Walking aids were taken up and some struggled to another spot with grunts of disgust. When security reached the last table, a manager hiding behind him, there were 8 seniors in serious discussion. He apologised profusely but insisted rules were rules and they had to move. But coffee's nearly over and would be gone by 10 in just a few minutes, was the plea. There was no moving our young manager. He insisted the tables split up immediately. It was pointed out to him that this was the only contact some had with other people, and they would return to their 4 walls until the next visit. He insisted that seniors took all the seats and spent no money except for a cup of coffee, leaving no space for shoppers and families. How dare he be so rude? And where were the families? Any children were with their grandparents, and the shops weren't open. The atmosphere was very heavy that morning. After all, most of us had frequented this mall for 40 years or more, having raised children here, visited Santa, banked here, and had attended numerous doctor and dentist appointments. How dare this young know-it-all tell us we spent no money here? What's more, we didn't sit here all day and take up seats when families shopped. He also added that seniors cost the mall money for heating prior to the opening of stores. Boy, he had guts to face a bunch of active seniors with such hyperbole. He finished with a flourish, saying it was probably better if we found another mall. Well, that last table gave it to him. Security was ordered to march us out and write us up. Don't be so silly, we said. We've done nothing wrong. Would you like your mother spoken to in this ignorant manner? We eventually went our way as it was time to leave and everything seemed to go back to normal. A few weeks later, while circling the mall, security confronted us. "You are banned from the mall, so come with me to the exit," he said. It was off again. How come we'd been fined for weeks and suddenly we were evicted? At this point, we asked him to call the police as this was harassment. All the groups joined forces to complain. The police came to chat with us, asking the manager's title. We believed he was maintenance and added that he shouldn't be dealing with people as he had little talent for this. When asked when the incident occurred, and we said several weeks before, and we'd not been rejected since then, the police scratched their heads and left to visit the office. The property manager had been polite with us and agreed on compromise several weeks before, since checking tables was a full-time job, so we were surprised when the police returned with lack of support for us from her. It was private property, so they evidently could oust us. She was later asked if we were banned or not, and replied, "We were welcome," and banishment was revoked. Just last week, several months after our incident, there came an alert. Too many old men at one table. An argument ensued between security and an elderly Italian gentleman, and he was ungraciously escorted to the exit with a fair bit of angry rhetoric. Was this reported to some authority? We don't know, but strangely enough, the next morning, word sped around the food court that no seating rules applied anymore. Some say Tim's and McDonald's complained early morning business was down, or maybe they were simply supporting their regulars. Seniors still have their daily exercise and enjoy some lively conversation. Sometimes old friends drop in who have left the neighbourhood, and it is a time to catch up on grandchildren. Some are no longer with us, but we go down memory lane and talk of good old times, and sometimes we can't remember names, but we help each other. It's hard to keep old folk down when they have companions supporting them. It's a lesson our young manager is yet to learn. Don't mess with seniors.